Hello, everyone. I am Marlon Kruizinga, and I'm presenting my article called Constructing an Empirical-Ethical Framework for Navigating Residents' Perspectives on Smart Cameras in Lombardijen, Rotterdam. So I am a PhD researcher at the Erasmus University. I have a background in philosophy, specifically philosophy of technology, normative philosophy, absurdism, and critical theory. And I'm currently working for the AI Maps project, which I will tell a little bit more about right now. So the AI Maps project stands for Artificial Intelligence for Multi-Agency Public Safety, meaning that we look at the context of public safety, the application of AI in that context, and we look at it from the perspective of the multiple stakeholders that are involved there. So as you can see on the slide as well, this involves, for instance, government, knowledge partners, industry, civil society, and also the environment. We look at it from ethical, legal, and societal aspects, and we do it based on a case study-based approach. So we look at concrete cases of AI application or of public safety issues in order to do our research. And we do a transdisciplinary approach, meaning that we also learn from each other's disciplines and try to integrate these other disciplines in our own research. So for instance, me doing the ethical aspects, I am looking also from sometimes a sociological perspective or trying to integrate some of those methodologies. So here I'm interested mostly in stakeholder perspectives and deliberation, and stakeholder perspectives is what I'm focusing on today. So this article is interested in the ethical perspectives and the reasoning behind those ethical perspectives of residents living in neighborhoods when it comes to cameras and AI-powered cameras, so cameras with AI integrations in their neighborhoods. I use, therefore, a qualitative empirical ethical methodology, which is inspired by grounded theory approach. So I use this methodology that is a little bit coming from the social science department. Then the intended results of the article are, one, to create a framework of ethical opinions and reasoning, which helps to, in the local context, helps to make sense of what the ethical perspectives here are, and why people hold particular ethical perspectives, what social or other factors may correlate with that or may have something to do with that. And also there is a hope that at least some of these findings are somewhat generalizable to a larger scale than the specific neighborhood of Rotterdam Lombardijen. But since there are obvious limitations in being able to generalize these results, I also hope that this research can be a proof of concept for this methodology of studying the ethical perspectives and reasonings of residents in neighborhoods when it comes to new technologies being introduced around them. So my methodology involved participatory observation, which served to outline sort of the general topic and also to find what questions were even relevant to ask. And finally, also to find sensitizing concepts, initial sensitizing concepts for the subsequent interviews and the analysis after the fact. So then these interviews were 20 one-on-one interviews of about an hour, qualitative, semi-structured interviews. And to these interviews then there is applied a comparative data analysis as well as more general thematic analysis. So I want to go over a quick overview of the findings. First of the findings is that it seems that cameras in the public space seem to have undergone a process of normalization, which means that most of my respondents treated them as a matter of course. So they did not really question or criticize the fact that they were around. They kind of saw it as just an aspect of the status quo that you have to make peace with, even if you feel negative towards it. Some did remain critical. Some did ask questions to themselves about why are there so many cameras, or why is there a camera in this particular place? Or even some people wish that there were no cameras in the public space. But these were, within my group of 20, in the minority. Then, on the other hand, AI capabilities in cameras or camera systems seemed still overwhelmingly seen as new, potentially risky. So there were more hang-ups, qualms, or worries when it came to this technology, and also just more of a request for explanation. So wanting to know, well, what kind of AI are we talking about, and also wanting to know who's using it, why. Requiring these explanations from any potential users. Then, for both cameras and AI, there seemed to be a preference towards public control over private companies controlling cameras and AI in the public space in the neighborhood. And this seemed to be largely due to the belief that, on the one hand, the government is seen as by many at least of the respondents here, as a benefactor for the public good. So they have a mandate to serve the public, while people saw private companies as mainly motivated by profit, which would make them unpredictable and also unaccountable to citizens and to the neighborhood. Some people also extended this distrust of companies as unpredictable to fellow residents. So they said, well, I don't know what my fellow residents are doing, with their cameras, with the data they collect from these cameras. So I would hope that they would not have these, or would be like subject to more stringent requirements. But some also, on the other hand, preferred actually if residents had more control over the general camera systems and AI in those systems in the neighborhood, with the rationale being that then they would actually use it to serve the public interest more than other groups or other entities would. Okay. Then residents' positivity towards cameras and AI use for public safety purposes seem to be strongly related to the level of trust that these people had in government's intentions or intended purpose, as well as in its structures of accountability. So as we already saw, many respondents saw the main user of AI in cameras in the public space as the government, which means police, but also other government agencies potentially, such as traffic agencies, what have you. But this is correlated with their belief that, one, the government's intended purpose is to serve the public good or to serve the people, and on the other hand, also many who were positive towards these cameras and AI also expressed that they thought that the government would have strong structures of accountability, meaning that if something goes wrong, someone will be held responsible and there will be redress sort of for any potential damage that is caused. On the other hand, those who felt negatively towards cameras in the public space or AI in cameras in the public space generally seem to relate that to a distrust of government, seeing government more as an entity that exists for the sake of its own power, and also seeing its accountability structures as weak, ultimately. So rationales going along the lines of the government will, in the end, do what it wants. Then finally, there was another overarching theme that had to do with a sense of moral apathy or perhaps helplessness about new technologies. So this came down to people saying, basically, I could have a stronger opinion about these things, about, for instance, AI and cameras in the public space, but there would be no point, because these residents said that they did not expect to be really listened to, or that if they were listened to, still their opinions would not be meaningfully taken into account if it was against the wishes of either the government or private companies who were developing these AI and implementing them. And I think that this creates a potential bottleneck for ethical deliberation in society, which is kind of supposed to, in my view, push these technologies forward in a responsible way, because it is more difficult to have these ethical societal deliberations if people are unwilling or unmotivated to develop their ethical perspective further due to this lack of motivation, this lack of hope or helpless feeling. So this makes, I think, on the one hand, the importance of participation in technology design and implementation very obvious. So from the government side, as well as from private actor side, as well as from knowledge partner side. So also from the side of me as a researcher and other researchers, to try to engage residents, citizens as much as possible in these processes, so that we can try to counteract this growing sense of apathy that might be occurring. Okay, I think that's the end of my presentation. So if you have any questions, let me know, and thank you for your attention.